podcast is powered by Audio House Dublin.
But yeah, episode 25, Sold Out Podcast here with Arbu. Do you want to introduce yourself a bit? And
so my name is Adam Buckley. My name Arbu comes from my full name Adam Ross Buckley, so I just kind of like took the first letter of Adam and then Ross and then the B from Buckley. Yeah. A lot of people are like, where'd you even come with that name? Come up with that name, like, you know. But yeah, it's just it was something that I felt at the time I needed something to throw onto myself, and like I always feel that like to be like authentic with your music, you kind of need to attach your name to it somehow. But I know right now that I'm not ready to release my masterpiece just yet, so I just kind of like, I just put my just a pseudonym or whatever you want to call it onto
it. Was
like,
interesting.
You know what I mean?
We had obviously your kind of, what would you call it, on your record label, your peer like Marcus Woods,
Burner,
and he told his whole story about just switching his name entirely, like, you know.
What was his? I don't know if did he have something beforehand.
No, but it was just like it's just not his real name, and I just thought it was like.
Yeah, a lot of people think that. A lot of people think. To be honest with you, I thought it was his real name for a long time. I mean? But yeah, no, it's cool now. I like it.
But I like that. I like the way it's like your initials, so it's still connected, but it sounds totally different.
Exactly. Yeah. Some people call me Arbu. But like, you know, I'm not even gonna get into that. Like, you know, you call me whatever you want. Like, you know what I mean.
But yeah, what would you kind of like label yourself as, like, in terms of music?
Oh, I'm gonna be that guy. That, you know,
no labels.
I don't try to throw myself in a box. Right? No, for real. Like, well, like the stuff you hear online is obviously you're gonna get like kind of like a house and techno vibe off, which is fair enough. People, you know.
So Glow is up on your Spotify at the moment.
Yeah, Glow's up. That's probably my obviously like my kind of first like official single. I have stuff on like my SoundCloud and stuff, but that's like, you know, it's all, I use SoundCloud as like exactly kind of like a notepad or whatever, you know. And so Glow is kind of something that I just, you know, I was away in Germany for a very long time, and or not for a very long time. I was there for a while, but like not too long. But like it was the furthest or the longest I've been away from working, and you know, just constantly being with music for the first time in ages, like, you know. So I was just it was like I went away and I didn't have like a limb or something for ages, like, but. I was going around Germany, and I went to this. I usually go to this festival called Sacred Ground Festival, where a lot of my favorite artists and stuff that wouldn't usually come here are all like they curate the festival. They choose who's going to it or who's performing at it. It's limited to like 1,000 tickets a year.
It's like intimate, like,
it's pretty cool, man. Like, there's no security at it, so all of these artists will be walking around, and like it's a good like opportunity to kind of get up and just kind of praise them, and you know.
And is it like all types of music, or is it like electronic?
Yeah, so like usually, like, obviously with Berlin and kind of like Germany in general, they're kind of focused on the house and techno side of things, but with Sacred Ground Festival they do have like quite a variety of acts, like folk or like electronica,
a bit of everything,
like, you know, a bit of everything. There's a nice mixed bag in there, like, you know, so
it's not all just like,
it's not all just house and techno. Like, I can understand there's a lot of people that I know, especially being in the Irish hip hop scene, that don't like house and techno, which is fair enough. You know, there's a period of my life where I hated it too. Like, you know what I mean? I hate a lot of the music, but you know, now I'm kind of at a range where I like everything. Like, you know what I mean?
It's kind of interesting because I feel like a couple of years ago, just before this whole, I feel like there's been a real renaissance with Irish hip hop in the last even like 2 years.
100%.
Before then, there was actually a really big like house and techno scene here. It was like the main.
Oh yeah,
thing,
like
really,
the house and techno in Dublin is still pretty big.
Yeah.
If not, it's on the rise even more. As is hip hop. You know, like, we've always had these cultures in our society, but I think, like, especially with like festivals like Forbidden Fruit and Longitude, especially, like, they're bringing a lot of Irish acts to the forefront, and kind of, you know, letting them showcase what they have, which I think is excellent.
Yeah,
you know,
they've been doing a lot of that more and more.
100%.
Because it's interesting, even like with obviously like Longitude, like, though, because they'd have like Versatile on the same time as Post Malone and stuff, which is like,
exactly,
like, fair play to Versatile, actually still pulled the crowd, but 100%, like, you know what I mean?
Man, like that's the thing though, you'll get heads that are into that and like will say, you know what, I'm actually going to go see Versatile because I know they're going to put on a good show, like, you know what I mean? So like, that's what their thing is. It's just live raw energy, and like, I've never seen them personally, but I know that. Oh wait, actually I've seen them. They done a song for Reggie Snow,
Oh really?
Or like they came out for Reggie Snow in the Olympia when he played. And they done a good job, man. They know how to hold the crowd. So respecting them for that. Like, you know.
It's funny because when I was in, like, I've kind of told this story in a podcast before. When I was getting trained in my new job, one of the guys, he went to Electric Picnic, and the only two acts he kept talking about were like Versatile and what was it doing? It was like Kendrick or something. But I was like, it's crazy how like some boys from Dublin and then pair up perfectly with like a Kendrick or something. You know,
yeah,
for him,
it's insane. It's become such a like they have become such an accessible like form of music, like, you know what I mean. And it's crazy, man, because like I remember those lads, or one of them used to go to Ballier or BCFE when I was there as well, like, which is nuts. And just to see him come from there to like he's done very well for himself. So
but it's like 100%. Everybody, even like, sure, you know, there's a dozen people you can name off like in the Irish hip hop scene the last year or two, like, but it just seems like everybody's really, I don't know what started it, but everybody's like dropping more ambitious projects every time, you know.
100%, yeah.
Like even we were talking before about like Nonsus or something, you know. It's like he didn't have like an album out for a while. Like he still doesn't really have like an album out, but like even just dropping that the Rage and Chill like on Spotify and everything. You know,
I thought that was sick.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I love him, like, especially big respect to Nonsus as well. Like he's always kind of innovating his tunes. None of his songs sound the same. No. Like, you know what I mean.
There's one on that Carew, do you know it? Where it's like it's like a mashup of like, I think it's like Pornography or something by Travis, and then it's Lost in the World and stuff. It's just so dope the way he does it. Like,
oh, it's sick, man. Yeah, no, I really like Nonsus's music. He's a good lad at what he does. Like, you know what I mean? So,
exactly. It's just kind of interesting because obviously he had, like you were saying, like the 100 Mob and a couple singles out, but it's just interesting. Even like some of the boys we've had on, just kind of dropping their albums, putting on bigger gigs. It's definitely just the momentum is just carrying through 100%, a lot, you know?
Man. And I think that's one thing as well in the Irish hip hop scene, is that that's why it's expanding. It's almost like it's not really a competition with people, and that's what's really welcoming about the scene. And I think that's how I got involved in it as well. Like, you know, it's like I remember the first time that I kind of like really branched out to the Irish hip hop scene was Mathman has this B Club thing. I don't know if you've heard it, but he's done it, I think, a couple of times now in Dublin, and he's done one in Limerick. So what he does is he usually gets like producers, whatever, to get up, showcase or beat battle. You know, and it's a real thing where, you know, people just come together. And although there is a competitive side to it, it's a welcoming thing. Like, it's like a family, like, you know what I mean. And from there you establish connections and relationships and learn so much about what you could, you know, bring out in yourself. And that's kind of how I've stuck with the Irish hip hop scene, definitely.
It's
like
almost like no one's condescending to you or anything, you know. It's like, it's all like,
no. And like, what's even funnier is that when I released Glow, I got a huge response from the Irish hip hop scene from it. And it's not something that like you'd listen to if you're into hip hop, like, you know what I mean. It's like a melancholic kind of techno, like, I don't know what the hell it is, man, but it's, you know, it is what it is. It's like, but, yeah, cheers, man, I appreciate it. But yeah, sorry, going back to that, actually, the song itself, when I was at Sacred Ground Festival, going back to what I was saying, there was how we started the tune was there was a chap called shout out Shazman Visuals. He was doing an art installation at this festival, and I remember I was just chatting to him, and it was like kind of like this, he had like a motor with these like strings that were like pulling around this frame and like weird like geometric shapes. It's hard to explain, but it's kind of, you have to see it to you know, to understand.
So this is like a 3D thing, like,
it was really cool, but it was just like thread and like a motor or whatever. And I remember like hearing the motor, and I was like, man, that sounds sick. It sounds like a bagpipe or like an automated, it's like if you threw like a bagpipe through like a sequencer or something like that. That's exactly what it sounded like. And I was like, can I record this, like, just to use as a sample or whatever? And if he was like, yeah, no problem. So I recorded it, and then I didn't think I'd actually end up doing it with it. But then as soon as I got home, I threw it in. Or no, sorry, I was writing with it actually when I was in Germany, and I was writing lyrics and stuff because I didn't have anything with me. So I was just using the sample and lyrics and stuff. And then when I got home, I threw it in, and it kind of just seamlessly unfolded, like, you know. But
and you just record it on your phone? That's
no, the sample is recorded on my phone. Everything else, I have computer and stuff at home. But like the sample itself,
I just meant like, did you just kind of
that's like, to be honest with you, I think phones are underutilized. Well, I wouldn't say underutilized too. In certain aspects they are, like, you know what I mean. But like for recording samples and stuff, like, you can be going around Grafton Street and you hear some chap on a bongos or something like that. You can record that, and that itself is a unique thing that you're not just pulling off YouTube. You know, you could warp it and kind of make it in sync and kind of make your own beat and pattern around it. So it's all these little things that really show people's creativity.
Exactly.
You know,
no, that's like a unique way of doing it. So like, how did you kind of get started with all this like production and everything like that?
So like, I've always been kind of musically orientated.
Was it in your family or anything? Or?
Yeah, so my dad, like, where I started really is my dad. He's a blues musician, and he kind of like, all I remember like from being younger and being exposed to music was like traveling in the car and like him showing me music, tunes. Like, you know what I mean. But the thing is, like, when you're that young, you should be listening to stuff that's like, you know, development. What's the word? Developmental.
Like,
you know what I mean. Just to kind of you know, what you'd expect like a child to listen to, you know what I mean, like to progress their mind or whatever. But like, my dad was showing me like Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds and Tom Waits and Ali Fakatora and all these like really crazy things that you probably really dark things you probably shouldn't show a kid, like, you know what I mean. But like it's kind of like I've taken a lot of influence from, you know, bits and pieces from that, and like I eventually went off started playing guitar myself. I got involved in like my first ever kind of musical projects and stuff I was in like was a metal band. So I used to do metal vocals for years. And a lot of people don't know that.
Doing like the baritone growl. And
like honestly, to this day, I probably think that's my best talent.
No way.
It's just I haven't really.
Can we get a little sample?
Oh no. I'll send you something later on. I just don't want to humiliate myself.
That's crazy.
Good, like, but
no, but that shit's actually impressive. Like, you know, like similarly, like in my car when I was growing up, like my dad would be showing me like Linkin Park or something.
Exactly,
and like my mom used to be always like, he's just screaming. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, no, like
there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more technique.
Like, what's it? Is it Given Up where it has like I think it's like the world record like longest scream or something.
I know the one you're talking about.
Do you know, like shit like that? You're actually like, fuck, like that.
Yeah, man, like it is impressive. And like when people look at the metal scene and stuff like that, they're like, oh, it's just noise. But I think it's like one of the ultimate forms of just like putting out whatever you want, like, you know what I mean. Like the same with like there's a lot of music that I listened to back in the day that that would be like deathcore music and death metal music. You would actually find aspects of that, especially at live shows, that trap artists are using nowadays, big heavy bass, mosh pits, wall of deaths, all of this stuff, man, like, you know. And it's all being translated.
That's
through,
all
like,
present,
you know?
now in like a Travis concert, like, but sure, they're all calling themselves like rock stars now and stuff, you know.
Exactly, man. It's all stems from something, like, you know. But I was in a metal band for years, and we kind of like, to be honest with you, I'm thankful for the period that I was in that band with, I was in that band for, but I never really went anywhere. Never really kind of caught a flame or anything like that. But we spent a lot of time writing, you know, kind of being really consistent with our writing and trying to develop ourselves as, you know, individuals and artists together. And after a while, I got into a thing where I was like, you know what, I kind of really want to do something by myself, but I didn't know where to start, like, you know what I mean? Because like I can't go off and be a metal vocalist by myself, like, you know what I mean? So, well, I could, but, you know, I didn't want to have to go and write everything, like, you know what I mean, write all the blast beats and stuff, so I remember like I would open like the family computer, this was like years ago, and I'd be like absolutely,
we just like,
oh man, like the first time I ever opened a like FL Studio or something like that, I think I was probably around 12.
Sweet.
But like I haven't like, there was a huge break where I just never went back to it, you know, because like when I was opening up FL Studio on the family computer, I was hawking the RAM out of it, like, you know what I mean? So like the thing would crash on me if I done anything to it. But
open one plug in, it's like boom.
Exactly, and like there's the funny thing is, like, there's still stuff online of stuff I used to make, I made back then, that actually got a good few views. Like I found it recently enough, and there was actually a good few views on it, and I was like, what the hell? Like, I was saying to the lads, I have a little cult follow, I never even realised that, like, you know. But that's another thing that's gonna go unexposed.
That's always the way though. Like, you always do some stuff when you're younger and you forget about it for years, and for some reason it's just picked up in the search engine and it has like 12,000 views when you're younger, and you're like, it's nuts, this is like my worst thing. Exactly, and I'm never actually gonna like probably top that. You know what I mean? It's
crazy though. It's nuts. But you know, after I think when in the last, like, there was actually for a while I was dabbling with producing, kind of got a bit fed up with it because it was drilling my head in. Like, it's hard to do, like, especially when you start off.
Just listening to the beat loops over and over.
Exactly.
And over and over.
Man. And like, it's when I started off, it was something that I just didn't have the patience for. I was young. I wanted everything then, like, you know what I mean. Like, but I picked up a guitar and I started singing, started doing folk songs and stuff for years in my bedroom, which is a bit weird. Like I kind of done proper 360 with it, but
with the genres,
with the genres, And I think I'm thankful that I did, because like, you know, you can kind of hear it in my music a bit. But like I was playing folk tunes for years, and then I went on to produce properly. I started producing properly, I'd say, within the last maybe year and a half.
Yeah.
So.
And is that just pure looking it up on YouTube and like that sort of thing?
Yeah, so like I kind of gained a good bit of knowledge with music, and I used to do a good bit of sound engineering and stuff like that. So, you know, bits and pieces of like gear and kind of like the like the jargon behind it. You know what I mean? I knew a lot of
exactly just from being around,
just the understanding of it. Yeah. And so when I eventually kind of just saved up and got a good bit of equipment, I just kind of went all out with it, and I've developed quickly and not like quick enough. But obviously, you know, we could all do better in some regard. But I'm just still going with it. So I'm delighted to kind of be, you know, what's the best way to put it? Like, you know, I'm just thankful for all the relationships and stuff I've built it. Yeah. And now it's such a quick thing. Exactly. So, you know,
that's what I was going to touch on. Obviously, just kind of a good time to have you on because you've just launched Burner Records.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you want to talk a little bit about kind of like, because there hasn't really been too much like information actually pushed out about it yet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the first thing I'd say is that all those lads are rats. Don't trust them. I'm only joking. But
so it's yourself, Fynch, Sick Nanley. I'm trying to think who else. Marcus.
So it's Marcus Woods, Fynch, Sick Nanley, Local Boy, and myself. Yeah. So it's the five of us. So basically, how that kind of came about is that we all kind of knew each other, and we all kind of have our own endeavors and stuff. We all do things differently a little bit, you know.
But there's a good bit of overlap as well.
Like. Yeah, like there's a good bit of like some of the lads have the same aesthetic with certain things, and like that's why we all kind of we're all naturally friends first. That's how it happened. Like,
which is good.
Yeah, exactly. And I think having a strong relationship is something that will last a lot longer than just having an Instagram page, like, you know what I mean. So when we all decided to do this, we all kind of said that, you know what, the lads are planning to put music out. When you're an artist or a musician, you would know that it's kind of not difficult, but it's just an annoyance trying to reach out and get different platforms to surface your music. So we all decided to do is put our heads together and just create our own platform. So if we decide to do that, we can all kind of give each other a dig out, organise events, and, you know, just kind of put everything, put all of our energy into this one thing, more so than trying to sporadically try and find different entry points, like, you know. So
because there's a good bit of collaboration between you obviously already. Like, you were just playing at Marcus Woods, his demo launch EP. How'd that go, actually?
Yeah, man, it was actually sick. I had a really good time on it. I got a good response on my set, so I was pretty happy with it.
Just did a DJ set, didn't you?
Yeah, I was just doing a DJ set, but I was pretty happy with it. Like, I won't be doing a live set for a while. I'm gonna be I'd say maybe 2019 will be the first time you see a live set from me. Cause
so are you working on like your own stuff, like
I'm still working on I'm working on stuff at the moment. In terms of a release, I'm gonna keep it on, you know, the down low or whatever, but I just don't want to jinx it, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I'm working with a few people at the moment, so like I'll be doing a few collaborations and having people on some of my songs and doing songs with other people, so but mostly kind of in and around the same style as I was before, just kind of like that, like, you know, real melody driven music. So I love that stuff.
Just bringing in like some more like other influences.
Exactly, man. Yeah, because like I would love to have an Arbu song with a rap artist on it, but like it's you know what, it's like it's just very difficult because like you need the right gel, and like the first time that kind of did happen is with myself, Bobby Basil, and Adam Shanahan. We done a song on his latest album called, I don't really know if I should say it or not. No, I'm not sure. I'm not going to say what it's called because I don't know if the lads will approve of it. But
it's in the works.
Yeah, it's already done. It sounds incredible. It's probably the most majestic thing I've ever done. It's a song that me and Bobby wrote together, and then Adam Shanahan produced it. So it's just like, it's like some proper like.
So this is on Bobby's album.
Yeah, I was Zach Nelson, man. Yeah, it's
so hyped for
it's incredible. I've listened to it probably around like 5 times already. Like it's just so good, man.
Yeah.
But I can't wait for people to hear it. It's a lot. It's a different path that Bobby's taken on it, but I think it's something that he has to do, and it's sick. Like I really respect him too.
He's already got like, I don't even know what it's gonna sound like though, because he has so much variety on his stuff.
When you pull up YouTube and you type in like Bobby Basil, you have
the Waste Fellow stuff,
Deja Vu.
You know what I mean?
Like, and then you have this trap stuff, and it's just that's what's cool about him, is that like he's constantly reinventing himself, and as an artist, that's something that you have to do. You have to really be don't get married to the one idea, because you'll box yourself in that way, So it's that's what I really respect about him for. He's just always kind of just constantly throwing out tunes. You just
even like one time thing just does not, like, that's real grimy,
Yeah, man, Hugo on the track.
Oh, what's it, Neighbours then or something? That was one of my favourites.
Neighbours with Recluse. Recluse is another savage rapper as well. He's sick. He's a great lyricist and songwriter too.
But I suppose that's good as well. With yourselves and Burner, like, everybody is like similar but like different. You're gonna like influence each other.
Exactly, man. Yeah, it's all about just kind of collaboration at the end of the day. We're not in any rush to get anywhere. So we're all here, as you say, going through this like struggle in Dublin. We may as well have a bit of fun
literally,
while we're doing it. So
I know Sick Nanley's dropping. Is it Friday? No, what's the night?
So Sick
Sunday.
Our brother Sick Nanley is dropping a song called Mouth Spit on November 9th. Yeah. So that's 2 days time, I think. Today's Tuesday.
Yeah, I was trying to work out. I was like, is it Friday, is it not?
Yeah. I think it's Thursday. It's coming out.
Yeah. So that should be good.
It's an insane video. When he sent, he has a video and everything for it. So we have a premiere organised for that with someone. So it's gonna be pretty. It's I'd say it's gonna make some moves anyway, definitely. Because when he sent it to me the first time, I was like, man, this is insane. It's just him, like, flowing about, being himself, and it's sick. Like,
works out. Like,
he's so good. Like,
so like I suppose just what are your kind of like modern influences? Like, what are you listening to now? And, like, just kind of a bit of everything.
Yeah, man.
Because it's interesting. Because like I've been kind of like hinting at, I want to do the end of the year, December, sort of like an album of the year kind of wrap up. Episode where, because like the amount of albums I've dropped this year, like we did one with Betta where we talked about them from like June or something, so it was after all the, like, there was like Pusha T, Kanye, Kid Cudi.
I'm still catching up with the tunes from then, like,
so, what I mean?
Like, it's so difficult, man.
Even since then there's been what has there been? There's been like big albums, like there was Astroworld was like that week, I think. So after that there's already been as well like just loads of albums.
Not to mention in the past few days, Mick Jenkins and Vince Staples just dropped albums. Joji put out an album there.
Joji's sick.
Mick Jenkins and Joji, those last two things, I've been
I've been listening to Ballads 1.
Ballads 1 is, man, like, honestly, I didn't think that, like, because not to say he's a single driven, like you know what I mean, like, single driven guy, but all of his songs that are really big are singles. And when he was putting out an album, I was like, I didn't know if it was a bit pretentious. But when I listened to it through, I was like, man, it's a piece of art. Like,
I was saying to one of my mates, I'm quite impressed with Joji because he came out and he doesn't actually sound like anyone, which is like really hard to do.
I can understand that.
He does and doesn't, like, you can tell it's a Joji song though when it comes on.
I think what I respect most about him is the fact that he invented the Harlem Shake and everybody has forgotten it.
Forgot about that.
You know what I mean?
It's like he was just a YouTuber though.
Yeah,
like, man, and like, it's mad. Like,
especially being a YouTuber, being so much in the spotlight, people can box you in and be like, you're just a YouTuber and that's all you are.
Man, he has Trippie Redd on his album. Like,
he's expanded. Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
It's crazy. But in terms of people I've listened to and kind of modern, I've listened to I don't know. You don't listen to much electronic music or anything like that, do you?
I might, like, probably only the big ones though. Unfortunately, like.
That's fair enough. Yeah, everybody to their own. Like, but
yeah, try some stuff out though, because
Who else will listen? David August released an album. If you're into the electronic music and stuff like that, you should definitely check it out. What else am I listening to?
Because that was one of the things I kind of said to Waste Fellow. I was like, I hadn't really listened to too much electronic music, but after listening to him for the episode and like I actually got real into it, I was like, there is more than just hip hop, but I'm just such a hip hop head that I just love it.
Honestly, once you start lifting the lid on other genres, it just gets too much.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You're
exactly.
just like, oh my god, what else is in there? Like, but who else? I listen to David. Like, mostly I'm influenced nowadays would be like Frank Wiedemann, Nicholas Jarre, especially. Like, he's he's put out so much music and he's so young, like, and it's just, oh my god, so inspirational. But him, David August, who else have been listed? I really, really, really love Bad Not Good. I don't know if you've listened to much of them.
I've only heard the name.
Oh man, like they have a song with on Mick Jenkins' new album as well, and like honestly, those boys are like they're so good. Like I seen them in the Sugar Club when they played here last, and I was just like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, it's just insane. But
you said earlier that you're real into like techno and stuff. What sort of techno would you be into?
Oh Jesus Christ!
Because recently, man, I just got so into techno. I don't know.
Yeah, like there's I probably sound like a bit of a snob here. Like I like a lot of German based techno stuff. Like I like a lot of the stuff that comes over here too. Like I'm going to see Malgrab as well on Saturday.
Yeah.
But I'd say like Frank Wiedemann and Howling. Who else? It's kind of hard to think of like techno. Like, to be honest with you, I'm not too sure.
Are you into like Patrick Toppy and Martinez Brothers, all them now?
I wouldn't I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to them. Yeah. I appreciate them as artists and stuff like that, but it's not that I'm not a fan of them. I just haven't really listened to them too much. You know what I mean? But I've heard they have a big fan base though, so I can understand that there's a lot of talent there, like, you know. Yeah. But I'm not too sure, like, because anytime it's just like techno, it's like I don't really think about in terms of genre. I just usually whack on or whatever, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah, you can have your own like go-tos.
Exactly, like. Yeah. But I don't know, man. But
that is funny about the different genres, because like in terms of other ones, I probably only listen to like the surface level of it, but like I do listen to like quite a bit of like Slipknot or Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh yeah.
Do you know, like, and then like on the other hand of it, then I have like a bit of John Mayer, or like, you know what I mean. So it's a bit of everything, but like.
What kind of metal music do you like?
They're the main ones anyway. Like Slipknot, like if you could call Linkin Park, Avenged Sevenfold. I love them because like they're so diverse. Like they have like bagpipes and they're throwing everything.
Yeah.
Like,
do you like do you like any death metal or anything like that? Or?
You see, you'd have to throw some at me, but like I might have caught a track or two, but I don't go out my way. Like,
I mean? That's fair enough.
But like I probably would fuck with it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like there's a few like nowadays there's a few black metal bands and stuff like that are kind of like breaking into that kind of like, what would you call it? Pitchfork-esque music scene. I don't know, like kind of like it's just different and weird, like, you know what I mean. But you'd get the odd like black metal band like Liturgy or Death Heaven or something. You should check them out. They're pretty cool. Like,
no, I do. I always appreciate a good metal recommendation, because I don't listen to it enough. Like,
yeah, they're just nuts. Like, you know, especially with like the likes of Death Grips and stuff carrying a lot of fans and stuff on their shoulders. They're like opening up genres and being like, realizing that, you know, hip hop fans can actually like metal music and metal fans can like hip hop music and punk or whatever, you know what I mean. But it's that's another great band as well. I love Death Grips. They're so good.
They're dope.
They're just so strange, you know what I mean. And I remember I was reading something online. They were saying that they organized like a show or something, and all that was on stage when all the fans entered was a toy drum kit with a note on it or something, but they never showed up, and it was like an art piece or something. I know that's real pretentious now. I just think it's gas.
Well, did you catch them at Electric Picnic, Ren?
Oh man, no, I didn't go to Electric Picnic.
Because they were kind of like a last minute announcement.
Yeah,
as well,
man, like that's why I was really pissed as well. Because like when I see it, like anytime like Electric Picnic announced their first round the backs, they're not too great. Like, you know what I mean. Like you'll get the
because it's a lot of pop as well.
It's a lot of pop music, and like I do like a good bit of pop music too. I kind of like I think it's one of those things that you kind of have to. You know, if you're writing music, you can't really escape it. Like, you know what I mean. You kind of have to either embrace it or just like go mad. You know what I mean. But like, I try to avoid radio stations, but because it just melts your brain. But I like a good bit of pop music
that's
too.
What I think I've noticed is like a trend. It's like I always go for like I just don't trust, like, if a song is like big on the radio, it's like,
is it big because it's good, or is it big because they have the money to get on the radio? You know what I mean?
Or it's like, as well, like, you know, like just these like Disney singers who just, they have a song written for them, and it's like, you know, it's always the same shite.
Oh,
really,
yeah,
you know
man,
what I mean?
I thought you meant Disney singers as in a genre kind of way, but there is a few Disney heads out there, definitely,
like,
man.
Is it hard to get onto radios and stuff here?
To be honest with you, if you know the right, like, I haven't been on the radio, not that I know have anyway, or not that I know, but I have been, but I know a few lads and stuff that do radio shows and bits and pieces like that, so if you get the right connections and they like your stuff, then you can easily get on the radio. But you need to write good music first.
Especially with the main thing, like, a lot of collaborations. Like obviously we have Story of Hip Hop coming up pretty soon. Like Mango and Trafaris, and like that's
insane.
It's a big thing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
did you see them at Longitude?
Oh, yeah, I wasn't at Longitude either. I'm so out of the loop here, man. I was locked away writing music. Like leave me alone. But what was I here? What? I was actually away in Germany during Longitude. That's why I didn't go. I would have gone though. Yeah. I would have gone because like I remember my girlfriend showed me the lineup and was just like, "You're gonna be going mad when you see this." And I looked at it and I was like, I have tickets to Germany. I was like, I can't. It's so sad.
Man, I was so even Lil Pump. Man. Like one of the.
I think that's gas. I think the funniest thing ever is Mango, Kojak, and Lil Pump all sharing the same stage.
No way.
Not at the same time though, but like you know, consecutively after each other. I just think it's funny. Like you just wouldn't have thought. Like
exactly.
Who else played that? I think Sanford played that.
Reggie Snow as well.
Reggie Snow. Yeah. I like Reggie's music. I think it's good. Yeah.
Like in terms of that stage, like who else was playing?
Yeah, I am DDB as well. I got to go on stage for that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, tell that story.
I got pulled out of the crowd because she was looking for someone with a bit of, reefer.
Oh, really? I was like, a bit of what?
And
I love how he's off camera for this.
What's reefer?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
What?
But wait, you're making me power. I got power as fuck because I was like, the guards are gonna pull me off. I'm going straight to jail.
My dad's a guard, man. I'm joking.
The door's there. But that was one of the like 15 minutes of fame or whatever. Like you go on stage and you look at the crowd. That was the moment I was like, holy shit.
It's never gonna get any better. It's like, this is it. Soak it all in.
And she compliments my roach as well, which is beautiful.
Compliment? That's a weird compliment.
Yeah.
I suppose that's a good way to take it. Was it just like it was real nice and
no? It was a special.
Real nice and tight, was
it? Nice and tight. Yeah, it's like. Just stops midway. Says, "That's a nice tight roach there."
Mid tune, like.
That's
it's insane though. Longitude was good.
Yeah, man. I'd say like I like those festivals where you can go home after.
Yeah.
And well, I like I was at Forbidden Fruit. I was at Forbidden Fruit this year actually. I was a bit upset that I didn't get to see her at Sweatshirt though. He pulled out. I think he was going through like a depressive episode, which is fair enough. I think his dad died or something like that. So
I think is he shaping up? He seems to be teasing. Yeah,
man, I seen something there the other day.
He hasn't dropped in a long time. Like I've kind of fallen out looping him.
He's had kind of grown his hair long, and he put out like a 30-second. Yeah, I don't know. Did you see that? Yeah,
that's the thing I saw, but I didn't click in and listen to it.
Yeah, I don't know what. It's not a song. I don't think it's just like I was looking at it and I was trying to just.
But it does seem like if he's making any moves in the public light, it obviously means he's kind of coming back.
Yeah, I think
he
kind of have to. Like if he puts out a 30-second clip and never comes back, I'd be fucking pissed off, like,
But like he's a bit like Frank Ocean now at this stage, where it's like we're just kind of don't know what's happening with him.
I love Frank Ocean, but I think what I really appreciate about Frank Ocean is that he writes music and it's quality.
Yeah,
he doesn't write it all the time. He's always banging it out and he's always doing it for the cash, like
It's he kind of lets himself live a life and then reflects on that.
That's the main way to be, man. Like if you kind of start writing music with the pressure of people looking for you to write music, then you're not going to write anything good.
Yeah. That's when I think you fall into, like we're saying, the whole pop music thing, where you just start writing then about like, well,
that's what it is, man. When you look at, like, if you look at a Wikipedia page, and like, no disrespect to your man, Black, Black or Six Black or whatever people are calling them, like, but I love his tunes, man. I think they're sick. Class, but when you go onto the Wikipedia page, he has like 5 or 6 producers and then 5 or 6 songwriters or something, you know what I mean? And like obviously that's just something that the industry have crafted and put out, because like never heard of him until like last year or the year before. You know what I mean? So Problems came out and then he just blew up. It's like, who was this guy beforehand? Like, you know what I mean?
He performed on that Heineken stage as well. It was insane.
Oh really? Yeah. Oh fuck's sake.
Yeah, it was such a good fucking lineup all together this year. Like,
Anderson .Paak. Who else was playing at Caliucci's was playing at it? Who else was playing at that?
Tyler
Create. Yeah, man, that's a disgustingly good lineup. Disgusting.
What's the story?
Yeah, I don't know. This camera's turned off.
That camera's done.
Unfortunately, like we're getting into a nice little flow here. Like,
hang on.
We'll just take a quick technical break.
Yeah, we can take a break,
and we'll come back with more from Arbu.
Nice one.
I wish I had one of those like soundboards to radio station where it's like,
you should get. You should like get Ableton attached to that.
You just can keep going because
that one's on, but it's just gonna be on you then for the rest of this, like. I guess we'll just wrap up and fuck it, like that was fire, like.
Yeah.
I don't know how long. How long are we going, Macaulay?
It's like 4. Oh no, it's like 36-ish.
That's alright, to be honest.
Yeah, because it's like 36.
Could I talk about some stuff about Burner just at the end of that skill?
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. Alright. No, we're done.
Right,
It's finished.
See you later. Welcome
Good luck.
back.
So in terms of Burner Records, we're going to be pretty consistent with, in terms of putting out releases and stuff like that, and being in the public eye. So we're going to be having a launch party sometime in December. We just need to, we're in the midst of organising that event right now, so details will be published online and stuff like that for everybody to see. So check out Mouthspew on November 9th.
It'll be out. Your episode will be going up like the following Wednesday, so it'll be out.
That's it.
And then hopefully keep an eye out on Burner Rex on Instagram.
Burner Rex on Instagram.
Everything. Twitter.
Is it Burner? I think it might be Burner Records on Instagram, and I think it's Burner Rex on Twitter. We should have probably kept the same one, but they're all taken, I think. But
it'll be in the description.
Can I ask one more thing? What's the story with the little Nokia Blokia?
That's what
that's
burner.
A burner.
That's a burner.
That's
a burner phone.
Man. You see, that's
what's
where
a burner phone?
That's where I didn't stop, man.
What's a burner phone?
It's a burner phone. It's the one that you use to call your man and night out.
Oh,
sorted.
Then you burn it, yeah.
Yeah, and then you get rid of it. It's the one you get your drugs on. That's it. But no, it's not. We don't do any of that here.
No.
We're not scumbags.
We're not scumbags.
We're not scumbags.
And then, do you want to just shout out anything that I know you're kind of looking more towards 2019, but even just your own stuff.
I just want to, I'd say to people, check out October Year by Nealo. Show is going to be on November 30th.
Friday.
In the underground. It's sold out now, so you can't really get tickets for it. But if you stand outside and make enough noise, I'm pretty sure you might get in. But so we have some stuff with Sick Nanny coming up, and for myself at the time being, I'm just gonna keep it on the wraps.
Yeah.
But you guys will, you'll hear from me soon enough. Definitely.
You'll be back on. It was great chatting to you, man.
You too, man.
It's really good. Appreciate you. Check out stuff. Glows on Spotify. Check that out.
Nice one.
And look forward to Burner Rex.
Burner Records.
Say, man.
Cheers. Thanks so much.